Let's see what's in store with the dating doctor. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my fiancé and
partner,
and co-host today,
Dr. Frank Powers.
So Frank and I met Frank, as if you follow me, you know that my husband of 60 years passed away 4 years ago. And I decided to write a book for widows, and I went online, and because I had to do a chapter on online dating. And guess what? I met Frank. I never thought that would happen. So I said to Frank, well, let's write a book together. So we wrote a book called Open to Love, The Secrets of Senior Dating.
Yes, and we're very excited about it because we think it has some really good advice for people who are older, who are now thinking about, hey, I'm healthy enough, and I think I'm at a place where I'm lonely enough that I might want to
Yep.
look at the possibility of having another relationship. I never thought I would do that, but now I'm thinking about it. And those are the people that we are writing for.
Yep. And the thing is, the Surgeon General has just recently said that loneliness is one of the biggest problems in America today. A fabulous person on today who is David Coleman, and he has been around talking about dating. How many years, David?
I would have to hurt us all if I relinquish that information.
You don't look that old, David.
Thank you so much. I've done about 5,200 live engagements over the course of my career. But the first one, I was a grad student in 1982, and I was selected to present at a conference in Lexington, Kentucky. So right after I had a group project in my grad school class where my teacher told me to never have a job where I was talking to people. That was 5,200 shows ago. Thank God she was wrong. But the first time I ever spoke live was 1982, and we are now in 2024. You can calculate those, but I've been very blessed, very, very blessed.
Wow, you've been very productive.
Now,
what I talk about, I try to do three things. I want to instill the proper mindset. I want to develop tools in people whenever I touch their lives, and then I leave them on a call to action.
That's
I'm
great.
not a fan of speakers or anything where they just entertain people and go, what am I supposed to do with that?
All right.
so what do you think the number one concern? Do you see a new thing with loneliness?
It's the number one thing that colleges are talking about right now. It is.
Is it?
Oh, no. COVID changed everything. COVID changed everything because shelter in place, keep your distance. What was the only thing people knew how to do? Pick up their phone, get on their tablet, get on their computer, and have isolated one-on-one interactions that some felt real and some of those didn't feel real. Not everyone has come back from that. Not everyone has. And then the rules, I don't have to tell you folks this, the rules have changed. You can't necessarily say certain things to another person. You can't assume they're heterosexual. If you're a man, you can't assume that a woman you're going to talk to wants you in return. It might not be that case at all. And I don't care what age you are. So there's a lot of lonely people out there, and they're not quite sure what to do.
Yeah. And how do they start from your point of view and looking at it all these years?
Well, almost everyone starts. A lot of people start with online dating. They do. I was ironically about 20 minutes ago, I was helping one of my clients. There's tremendous do's and don'ts that I believe you have to follow for online dating. She showed me her profile, and her first picture up there were two other women, one of which, and I'm brutally honest with my clients, one of which was staggeringly attractive. She's lovely, but she's not staggeringly attractive. Number one, never put someone more attractive than you in one of your pictures. The person goes, why aren't I dating them? What do you mean? Why am I going to
really solid advice?
Life's hard enough without being your own competition.
Yeah, you don't need competition in this life.
I don't care how old they are. I'm not a fan of putting children or other family members in your pictures. And Gloria and Frank, I think within 30 seconds of reading someone's profile, I can tell you what their ex was like and what their last 2 or 3 relationships were like. I'm looking for someone who will actually listen, doesn't raise their voice, likes to travel and will uphold their commitments. Well, let me see. Let me
Yeah.
reverse engineer that.
I know when you speak on college campuses, I am thinking, you know, these kids like to tell people, oh, this is who I am, and you're going to want to meet me because I'm really cute and I can hike.
And I want to meet everybody in the universe.
Yeah. And we tell older people, hey, you have got some experience. You know
What
what you
works
want,
and what doesn't
what
work.
works, what doesn't work. Be dating is time consuming, especially online. You don't want everybody in there. You don't want to see how many pictures you can get or how many
Of course not.
Likes
hookups you can get. You want to say, hey, I like somebody who's financially responsible. I'm financially responsible. I'm retired. If you're not, don't get in touch with me, is the message you want to give. Or I want
For older
somebody
people.
who
Is that
healthy,
true
you
for
know.
younger people too?
It's true, Frank. It's true for everyone. I'll give you an example. Gloria, I think I heard you say that you lost your husband of 60 years, and I'm so sorry, but Frank,
Yeah.
you seem like a wonderful human. So amazing how life turns out.
Isn't it? And you know what? I want to say to everybody this one thing since you brought that up. You've got a big heart. I love my husband dearly, and I love Frank dearly. You can love. Your heart is big.
Absolutely. Well, Gloria, your relationship didn't end because something went wrong. It ended because someone's life ended, and that led you into a healthy relationship because you didn't come out of a horrible,
Not at all.
terribly unhealthy relationship with a toxic person, and you're looking for the exact opposite, or like most people do, they find the exact clone to replace that person. You just had a relationship end because someone died, so you could effortlessly transfer into and transition into Frank's relationship with you. And
Of course, Frank came from a divorce situation, so.
Yes. So I came from a different perspective, but also really what I wanted was someone who really, in a sense, was going to fulfill this last part of my life. I thought, well, you know, what are my choices? Online, or I could go to a senior community, and the numbers there are 2-for-1 for men. So definitely I would be an advantage in a senior community. But I said, you know what? I had met my wife online, and I said, you know, that was successful.
with my more elderly clients, with my older clients, you'd be a catch. Number one, you're remotely attractive. Number two, you seem to have kept yourself.
I like that.
And number three, if you can drive at night, baby, if you can drive at night, you're in. So
Yes, I got two things going for me.
what I basically try to help people do, and there's no age, Dr. Gloria, there's no age restrictions here. I think the things that you wrote in your book, they transfer. And the only reason,
No,
by the
people
way,
have told us that a lot.
Yes, we have gotten
they
that
said, why
feedback.
did you put senior dating? You should have just put dating. But we have one chapter that is a little bit different, and it's called Through the Bedroom Door. When you're younger, David, they are looking to somebody who's going to be a father or mother to their kids if they want kids. I mean, there are some other aspects. Frank and I wouldn't have gotten together early on. I was a nester, he wasn't. So, you know, how do you position that with the younger generation, getting them to put in the right information?
Blair, they're so confused right now on what's allowable, what's not, how do they actually meet each other, and what you're not necessarily going to have to deal with your clientele, I would hope not as much, is AI. So artificial intelligence. So when something comes through, when a profile comes, I can tell an AI generated profile like that. When you get an information, when someone reaches out, is that a human being or is that an AI generated profile? There's certain things you can look for instantly. And so there's a lack of trust. I've had students come up after my programs and they'll say, you know, I didn't want to be here. Now I don't want to leave. And then they will keep me another hour after my show is over, asking the more intimate questions they didn't want to ask in front of 500 of their closest friends.
Tell
So
us some of those intimate questions.
What are they? Yeah, what are they?
number one, my last relationship failed. It failed. I've been cheated on. They were cheating behind my back. And in today's world, with the phones and the internet, etc., it's almost impossible to catch someone unless they get so lazy they can be caught. But they can hide other numbers in their phone. They can be in conversation when you're nowhere around. There's just so many ways. So number one, I've been cheated on. Is that going to happen to me again? How do I recover from it? Number two, I just went through a horrible breakup. How do I get through it? How do I press forward? Number three, I don't think I have what it takes to meet anyone. I don't believe, and there's five things I tell.
Yeah.
There's five things I teach people to look for in the first 5 minutes that you meet someone, on whether or not you should even think about pursuing them. And so sometimes I'll reverse that. I'll go, let's talk about you for a minute. Do you think you have these five characteristics that we look for? But they're in every bit the same situation. They're lonely.
Do you mind sharing those five? I think our audience would really appreciate that.
Sure. I call it the ABCs of initial interest. And Frank, let's just say that any of us are meeting someone for the first times. And let's say that I or anyone is somewhere meeting someone. It's an A, B, C, D, and an E. The A stands for attraction. When we meet someone, we're either attracted or we're not. And it doesn't have to be they're drop dead gorgeous or handsome, but you shouldn't be repulsed. Okay, so there should be some attraction. The B stands for believability. Do you believe what's coming out of their mouth? Do their words seem sincere, true, and genuine, or does it feel like they're lying or fabricating or trying to play? Can you top that with me? The C, Frank, is chemistry. It's every type of attraction for another person except physical. Okay, were they easy to talk to? Was eye contact easy? Did you kind of wish that time would slow down? Did they make you smile? Did they make you laugh? Did you enjoy that 5, 10, or 15 minutes in their presence? The D stands for desire. There's two types. There's physical, hello, wow, yes, and the desire to get to know them better. And then the last one, the E, stands for energy. When we meet someone new for the first time, our energy either goes up, goes down, or plateaus. What happened to yours? So if you look at them and you say, gosh, I was attracted, I believed them, we had this weird chemistry, it was great, I have a desire to get to know them better, and my energy, I feel so great, find an hour to spend with them. If it's Zoom, fine, but if it's in person, and I only want it to be an hour, because what if it's not meant?
Those are really excellent.
How do you do the turn down?
I've taught my audience and my clients, in today's world, I think you be direct and polite. Let's just say that you're sitting there and the person says, hey, do you think we'll see each other again? I really think you should say, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't feel the necessary chemistry, but I really enjoyed the time we spent today, and I appreciate you spending it with me. Especially with clients who are a bit older, you're really going to hem and haw with each other? No, you're going to go, you know what, this was really fun. We won't see each other again, but gosh, today was fun. Thank you.
I've always said, try to treat the person as you would want to be treated.
Sure.
Yeah.
Frank, you know what's interesting? That's called the golden rule. Do you know what it is for younger generations now? It's called the platinum rule. I've had to work on this. No, it is. It's called the platinum rule, and it's treat me the way I want to be treated. The way we want to be treated might not be the way our clients or someone we're meeting wants to be treated. They want to be treated the way they want to be treated. It's
I like platinum.
Yeah, that's a step above.
That's a good one. One of the problems that I've seen with older people, they sometimes want to spend a lot of time online or on the telephone. And I am like, you have got to meet these people in person. I mean, you can waste so much time.
one of the first things that I suggest people put in their profiles. I am not looking for a pen pal. I'm not looking for a pen pal. A couple quick texts back and forth, or because I'm sure you both know this, I'm sure it's in your book, but dating sites and apps have a built-in firewall. They are there to protect you. As soon as you give that person your cell phone or your email, you have circumvented the firewalls and you're now one-on-one with that person, whereas that site had built-in protections for you. And the people that try to get you off sites the quickest are sometimes toxic predators, and you got to be careful.
Yeah. No money ever.
Ever.
And see them in person as soon as possible.
Gloria and Frank, I think what you'll find funny too is when I'm helping people with their profiles, and if the three of us were to sit down and we went, I don't care if it was Match or Bumble or I don't care what the platform, Our Time, I don't care what the platform, in everyone's platform, there's one picture that they'll have where you can go, oh, that's what they really look like. So if someone's got 6 or 7 pictures, Wow, wow, wow. Oh. And I can always tell you which one of the pictures on a profile is what that person actually looks like. And so that's one of the things too that I coach people. And then people will say, well, I don't want to put a full body shot. Well, that's fabulous, but you are going to meet in person someday.
And
And
you
they
want
will.
someone who's going to love you, not an idealized
And
you.
don't go to the Maserati store and stand in front of a Maserati
and
if
say,
you don't
and you have a
one.
Ford.
Frank, you know what? If there's a little more of you, they're just going to love a little more of you. But they
Right.
have to know, I don't like playing games. I don't want my clients to play games.
Oh, God, yes.
And
It's such a waste of time online to do that, play games.
I recently helped a client who wasn't seeing a lot of feedback on her profile. We changed out, we got rid of all of her photos. We put in 3 lovely new photos. We changed some of the wording, made it look like she had a personality and a sense of humor, and she almost had to hire an assistant to handle the different email and requests she was getting.
Awesome. What do you think about matchmakers? We just had somebody tell us they were going to spend $250,000 literally on a matchmaker. And, oh, and you'll love what they said. They said, we will tell you, we're going to
Give you three people that are not going to be good candidates, just so you know what a good candidate is.
You can't hire someone to help you who doesn't know you intimately well. Then what are they doing? It's like you might as well just go to the casino and play roulette. 28 black. Okay, well, whatever it's going to be. If they don't know you, then they're gonna go off a couple questions they ask you. If you're going to pay someone $250,000, the first 50,000 of it should be spent on them going somewhere with you for a week and their expense out of their 50,000 chunk, so they can get to know you well enough to make sure that they're going to pair you up with someone that's actually worthwhile and that is looking for the same things in life you are. That's a lot of money.
What do you predict for the future? Do you have any predictions of what you think and trends and the way it's going?
Yes, I do. I think we have to get AI under control, or it's going to harm a lot of people. It's going to take that money that you talked about earlier out of people's pockets. They're going to use algorithms and they're going to learn how to prey on an older population. There'll be key words, there'll be key phrases, there will be triggers they're looking for. And remember, all you have to do to make those people happy is click on what they sent you. Every single day of my life, I get no less than 5 text messages that, hey, Cindy, remember to bring the stuff that we talked about at the office party. It's a generated thing. And if I even reply back, sorry, I'm not Cindy, they get paid. And then every time they can engage you more on a text message back or get you into more than that, they get paid. So number one, we have to get AI under control. Number 2, we have to get more fit as a nation. I think that's mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Just because we age doesn't mean we should let ourselves go. And I don't care if that means getting out 15 minutes a day and taking in the sun and getting some oxygen in your lungs. And number 3, staying connected to people you don't want to date. What makes you desperate is when you're lonely. And if you have at least 1 or 2 friends or an organization that you're volunteering time to, and then you're in those people's presence, you're not going to be so desperate for the interaction that dating brings or a potential partner. And Gloria, you got to love yourself. If people are so desperate for a partner because they don't really enjoy, I'm a pretty funny dude. I don't mind my own company sometimes. But if I'm so desperate that I'll go out with anyone and I'll pay that kind of money so that I don't have to be alone with myself. Do you know why people don't like being alone? Because they don't know enough about the person they're spending time with to enjoy it.
I love it.
People have got to get better being alone.
And liking yourself. I mean, it would be really nice if people.
In order to do that, honestly, I think you have to have passion and purpose. You need to find passion and purpose for wherever you can find it. You got to have a reason to get up in the morning. I don't care how old you are.
It's funny, when I get up, there's a couple things I tell my audiences. Try to find someone who complements your life, not someone who complicates it. That's one of the first things I always talk to people. You need to find someone who appreciates your madness. A madness is something that we love to do or a hobby. We need to find someone in our lives who appreciates the things that we appreciate. They don't have to like them. I guarantee there's things that Frank loves that you're not a huge
Frank
fan.
loves to play pickleball, and I don't.
But actually, she played pickleball yesterday.
But I will occasionally.
And she was good.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know why it's great that Frank loves pickleball and you don't?
Yeah,
Because those 2 hours that he's off playing gives you
that's
2 hours
right.
to
And
be
he
you.
plays, he has a group of men he plays tennis with now, and he's playing golf with them. And I have some gals I play golf with. So anyway, life is good. So I want you to tell everybody where they can find you.
It's The Dating Doctor, the word dating, the word doctor at mac.com, like a Mac computer, mac.com. And an easy phone number is just, I live in the Cincinnati, it's 513 area code 403-7399, which is 513-403-SEXY. The only reason I
Ah!
know that is because my children, when they were younger, looked at my phone number and said, Dad, we were trying to see if it said date. It says sexy. You're not, but it works.
That's good.
Wonderful.
Out of the mouths of children.
So fabulous. You do private consulting, and you also are a fabulous speaker. I mean, you've influenced over 50 million people, we think, in the world. And you ought to market your podcast too, even though it's not exactly a dating podcast. It's a
No, I'd
fun.
be happy to. I'm currently co-hosting. Well, I host my own. They're on something called Bootleggers Music Group Radio. If people go to the App Store and download Bootleggers Music Group Radio, all my old shows are on there and the new ones. My own show is called Bridging the Gap. I try to bring on guests who help bridge a gap between what my listeners want and need and someone that can provide that information. And then the really cool one that just started in the last couple of years that's gone crazy. I have a dear friend named David Fulcher. He was a three-time All-Pro with the Cincinnati Bengals, played 8 years in the NFL. And we do a show called Overtime Life After the Spotlight, where we interview very famous people, athletes, non-athletes, who had time in the spotlight. That spotlight ended. What are they doing now? And it's just gone crazy. And
Wow, great.
people are reaching out and asking us to be on. And as long as they are a good human changing this world for the better, they can be on the show. Same with mine. The theme, the tagline for Bootleggers Music Group Radio is bringing people closer to God, one song and one show at a time. And we just want to make the world a better place. That's all.
I love it. We do want to leave that good footprint, and David does it. And if you need a speaker, as you can hear here, he's your man.
It'll be an honor. I've been very, 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 very blessed. I've in the college bar, I won Speaker of the Year 14 times over the course of my career, and I was named Entertainer of the Year once, which is hard because I'm trying to entertain and educate my audience. A
Right.
comedian, a band, a ventriloquist, a magician, a mime isn't trying to educate their audience at the exact same time. So that meant a lot to me. And I think what we all do, all three of us, is we help people get out of their own way. That's
Yeah.
really what I think we do. Most people have what they need. They don't know how to corral it and they don't know how to move forward with it. And I think that's
Right.
what we do.
Yeah. Oh, I love it,
Good.
David. Well, thank you so
Great words
much.
of wisdom, David.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. And I hope we're going to connect up and do some more stuff together. It's
It would
fun.
be wonderful. And congratulations on what you're doing. I love the book.
And Frank and I want to thank everybody for joining us on this show today. And we always want to remind you is that if you're lonely and you've lost hope, please lean on ours until you find your own, and God bless.